Hi guys, it's me, yours truly, Beverly Terrell Johnson, lifestyle health coach and consultant, registered nurse for over 33 years, known as the Uncommon Flexitarian and the creator of Eat What. Eat What is my weekly program that gives you resourceful information and education as to the many USDA and FDA food safety and health concerns. Now, I just don't wish to alarm you, but I also wish to give you solutions, concrete solutions to build your immunity, to build your overall health so that you can look good, you can feel good, and you can have a more positive outlook on life. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Eat What? Now, before we get into our program today, 5-2 and Blue, Intermittent Fasting and Health, I would just like to remind you that as a member of this private Facebook group, Eat What, you have access to everything that we have done previous to today. All you have to do is go to the members area, click on the Files tab, and there you are. You have every recipe, every conversation right at your fingertips. Now, if you're looking for a video, we have done a few videos. Simply again, go to the members area and click on the media tab, and you have access to every video that we have done. Now, let's get into today's topic, 5-2 and Blue, intermittent fasting and health. Now, many people have asked me about what is this talk about the blue zones. Let me give you a little bit of background before we get into today's topic. The blue zones were first discovered by researchers G.U.S.H and Michel Poulain, who were researchers who published their studies in the Journal of Gerontology. These two researchers found out that there were areas in the world where people, men, they were studying men at the time, that there were these men who were routinely living to be 100 years old or more. Knowing this and being gerontologists, they wanted to know what were the commonalities of these people that they lived such a bountiful life in terms of years, plus they did not have any of the what is termed as the Western diseases. Diseases such as diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, and more. Now, in doing this study, they noted certain commonalities and they published them in the Journal of Gerontology. Years later, Dan Buettner, a National Geographic Fellow and multiple New York Times best-selling author, noticed their research and simply monetized it. Nothing wrong there. It's through his efforts and building upon what they had discovered that we have access to this information today. Now, many people want to know, well, where are these blue zones? Where are these areas that were first identified where the subjects, men, like I said, they were studying men at the time, where they were routinely living to be 100 years old or more. These areas are, and you have heard of them all, Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, Nicoya, Costa Rica, Icaria, Greece, and Loma Lima, California. Now, we in the United States, hold on, it wasn't everybody in Loma Lima, California. A particular group of people were studied. This group was a group of Seventh-day Adventists. This religious group have found that the gerontologists Hess and Boulain found that these people, these Seventh day Adventists, were living to be 100 years old or more. And when doing more research, just to give you a little bit of background on that, they accounted that, as well as other factors, to the fact that they were eating according to their religious beliefs, the Levitical beliefs that were in their religious manuals, the Holy Bible. Now, just to give you a little bit of a background, it wasn't just dietary commonalities that these researchers and Mr. Bruckner were emphasizing. There are other factors. But for our purposes today, we want to look at the dietary factors that are common to those in the blue zone. So let's get started. Residents of the blue zones, again, that's Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, Nicoya, Costa Rica, Icaria, Greece, and the Seventh day Adventists living in Loma Linda, California, all had commonalities health wise that helped them to live to be 100 years or more. Now, these groups of people, as I mentioned before, did not have, were noted not to have the common, what is termed Western diseases, arthritis, heart disease, high blood pressure, all of these things that, diabetes is another one, all of these things that are determined to be a part of Western culture and bad health. So, what are they doing differently, or what were they doing differently at the time of this research? Well, to get into this, first of all, we have to recognize that they had a mindset to live as they were accustomed to. The mindset of health is so important. You can't do anything. You can't make any changes. You cannot do anything without a mindset to do so. Now, some people have theorized that it was because of their inability to get involved so much with Western culture that it sort of protected them from getting into the or having being exposed to diseases such as heart disease, high blood pressure, and the like. That may have been true at the time of the research, but this this would not have prevailed if there was not a prevailing mindset is to continue in what they had been accustomed to. Again, mindset is so important to whatever you do, and particularly when you're making an evaluation and or changes regarding your health. These individuals, even more modern times now, are still living the way that the centuries old practices have taught them. They are certainly introduced to more modernized ways of living, yet refuse to change anything basically of what they're practicing. This is because they have a mindset for success in this area, and seeing the success that they have achieved, they wish to continue to go on. Now, like I said, mindset. Mindset is a commitment to live and to do differently, irregardless of what others are or how others are living or how you grew up. You are committed to making this change or to remaining with these practices that you have deemed to be successful for yourself. That is the mindset. And bringing this over into our culture today, mindset, if you desire to make a change in your health from whatever you're doing to a mindset of what people in the blue zones are doing, you have to have a mindset change. You have to be willing to forsake what you're doing if you're not eating like them and adhere to the practices of what they're doing. If you're already eating as the persons and the inhabitants of the blue zones, then you might wish to increase or incorporate other practices, which we will discuss in future shows, and future programs of other practices of how they are living. Again, it is a mindset. And when I always counsel clients, I always tell them, I always let them know that if you don't like your harvest, if you don't like what you're receiving, change your seed. Seed time and harvest is the commonality that is true for all of us. So if you don't like the results that you're getting, look at what you're planting in your life. Look at what you are allowing to grow and to foster in your own life. You don't like your harvest, change your seed. Now, another commonality, and when studying what are the people in the blue zones doing differently, is their willingness to embrace practices that are aligned with health and wellness. Again, it is a mindset. It is a mindset issue. Now, one thing that the researchers determined first they thought that perhaps all of them were eating a more of a seafood diet and less of a meat diet. That was not true. Some cultures had more meat and less seafood. Other cultures had the exact opposite. So they thought that perhaps there was perhaps an ancient grain that they were all consuming. That also was not true. Some continents where these blue zone areas existed, some continents had grains as to support the theory of what they were looking for, and others did not. So when it came to dietary health, what were the commonalities? You have five blue zones, and not really, you can't really pinpoint and say that this group and that group or the other had one basic food that they were eating. That yes, and it is true. It is true. They all did lean more toward a plant-based lifestyle, but there was no particular plant on in any area in any blue zone that was common amongst all of them. So one thing that you can hold on to is that persons in the blue zones did adhere to a more of a plant-based lifestyle, which is what we discuss here. Some of us still eat some meats, therefore we're flexitarians, but the abundance of having a plant-based lifestyle was common to all inhabitants of the blue zones. Now, what else did they do? The researchers, Pest and Poulain, noticed that these inhabitants of the blue zone took care of their gut. That's right. They took care of their intestines. They took care of their intestinal health more so than anyone else living outside of these blue zones. And looking to modern science now, we can definitely agree that when you take care of your intestinal health, you take care of your entire body. You take care of your intestinal health, you take care of the health for your entire body. That is so true. Now, let's get a little bit into why this is so. Your your gut, your intestinal health is vitally important. Did you know or are you aware that the small intestine, which is directly attached to your stomach, your small intestine is only one cell thick, and that cell thickness is less than 1 millimeter? Are you aware of that? Well, that is true. That is so that the small intestine can be involved in absorbing and receiving and absorbing all the nutrients that have been deposited in the stomach through your eating, and it can also distribute to the rest of the body all of the goodness that is there. The waste goes into the large intestine, which is made up of the colon, the rectal, and the anal canal. Now, this cell that is less than 1 millimeter thick is called the villi. villi. And it's very important that the villi receive the good from the stomach, the good from whatever you're eating, because this after the stomach digested, this is what is absorbed and then distributed to the rest of the body. So if you're not eating well, if you're not eating health, then the intestine can't do anything else but to disperse what it has received. Okay? Like I said, the villi are only one cell thick, and that cell is less than 1 millimeter in thickness. Now, when those persons in the blue area were eating, when they noticed that they were eating more of a plant-based diet than anywhere else in the Western world or anywhere else in the world, period, the researchers started to study why was this so, and they found out that the foods, the plant-based diet was when they found out the plant-based diet helped repair, not only nourish the body, but help repair the cells that were being damaged throughout the body. The not say the ingredients, but the substance that is found in plants not only feeds us and nourishes us, but it also restores us. Our cells are a great part of every part of our body, and cell restoration is very important for our overall health. So when they were eating a plant-based diet, they were not only giving themselves nutrients, but they were also restoring any damage that had been done, known or unknown, so that they can continue to live a fruitful and prosperous life. Now, this is how plant-based diets became more popular throughout the world. And just not eating any plants, but eating more of the raw, or not overcooking the plants and retaining the substance from these nutrients shown to be beneficial. Now, many clients, when they are in consultation with me, they have noted stories of individuals who have been in their family and they have some type of underlying disease, where they say, well, this disease spread to this part of the body, then that part of the body, and they just could not get a hold of their health. And of course, they wanted to know what possibly could have gone wrong. All I can say is, and I have diagrams in the members area underneath files, there's not a lot of room in your abdominal cavity. When you're thinking of your digestive tract, and going from your mouth all the way through the anal canal in your large intestine, there's not a lot of room. You have your stomach and your small intestine are directly attached. They're basically touching each other. And being that the small intestine is folded over on itself, and the large intestine as well, it touches many other major organs: your spleen, your kidneys, your liver, your bladder, your prostate, your ovaries, ladies. Everything is in that abdominal cavity. So if there is disease in modern medicine, we have determined all disease starts in the intestine. If there is disease, then it is almost imperative that disease will not only affect the small intestine, but it will affect the stomach, it will affect the kidneys, it will affect the liver, it will affect the bladder, it will affect everything else that it touches. So it just really, really behooves us to eat the best that we can, so that we can restore our cell health as we're eating. We don't know what damage to our cells is being done as we eat. But when we eat the right foods, when you're taking the right medicine for your health, and that is more of a plant-based diet, then as you're eating, your cells can restore, aged cells can be eliminated, new cell growth can occur, and you live a more prosperous, a more healthy life and lifestyle. Now, how does intermittent fasting work? Intermittent fasting is something that these groups also did, but not as a conscious idea of I'm going to fast on such day as opposed to another day. What was discovered is that those persons, those inhabitants in the blue zone, ate, but like I said, a basic plant-based diet, but then they did not eat every day as heavily as they did the previous day. Now, the benefit of this, of course, is is keeping the stomach and your digestive tract, giving it sort of a break. And that's another commonality that has been found for all inhabitants of the blue zone. In taking care of their gut health, it was discovered that they gave their gut a break. Think about it. When you're eating, food goes into your stomach begins a major process of breaking down everything that you're eating. Of course, the digestive process does begin in the mouth, but when it gets to the stomach, it really starts to break things down so that all the nutrients may be absorbed by the small intestine, by that one less than 1 millimeter thick villi. So, and in doing so, it's working very, very hard. You put something else in your mouth, another hour or so later, or maybe 4 hours later, if you went to lunch or something like that, the stomach is working again, working very, very hard to break down all the nutrients, get it to the small intestine, so the small intestine can do its job in distributing nutrients to the body. It was found that when your gut has a break, the rest that it received was restorative as well. Our bodies are machines, but as with every machine and with our physical health as well, we all need a break. So the commonalities for the dietary part of what we're discussing was these persons, these inhabitants in the blue zones basically took care of their gut health by infusing it with nutrition and nutrients that the body could readily absorb and what was beneficial for the body. And they gave their guts a break. So, in giving your gut a break, how can you absorb all of this into your life? Well, two there are two major ways that I have looked at in doing my research. That there are two major ways that people give their guts a break. One method is called the 5-2 method, a method where you eat 5 meals and on two non-consecutive days. Like maybe you ate Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but on Tuesday and Thursday, you decided to eat less. You decided to eat noticeably less than you did the other 5 days, thus giving your gut a break. That is called the 5-2 method. There is also another method called the 16-8 method, where there is no eating for 16 hours and you eat for 8 hours. Well, there are many other ways that you can fast, but these are two main ways. And of course, I provided an article to give you a little bit of more information on the 5-2 versus the 16-8 method. So, in terms of intermittent fasting, those are two major methods, but let me tell you some of the benefits that can result from intermittent fasting. All righty? All right. So intermittent fasting improves your growth hormone secretion. And this does not mean that is when you're intermittent fasting, you're going to start growing more or developing more. No, that's not it. The growth hormone also helps your body heal, and it is needed for cell repair. And particularly in the damaged or inflamed cells. So any cells that are on their way out, all cells have a lifespan. So any cells that are on their way out or any cells that have become damaged, they're going to need repair. And by intermittent fasting, this improves the growth hormone secretion, which helps repair the cells. This is also beneficial, this growth hormone secretion is also beneficial for diseases and conditions, including inflammation, such as inflammatory bowel disease conditions, multiple sclerosis, celiac disease, rheumatoid arthritis, and other autoimmune diseases. Now, intermittent fasting also improves your microbiome. And what is your microbiome? Your microbiome are some bacteria that are extremely responsive to fasting and beneficial to them. It is the belief that you can grow these bacteria continually so that you can reap their benefits. So the more healthy you eat, the more bacteria that is naturally in your gut that helps with digestion, it helps with overall health, the more of that will grow. Okay? Again, mentioning again about the villi, the thinness of the cell wall, less than 1 millimeter thick. When you are eating, your gut is always working. And I just want to remind you that while your gut is always working, you have to give your gut a rest. You have to give your gut a break. No machine continues on and on and on without showing signs of wear and tear and dysfunction after a long period of time. Every machine needs a break. Give your gut a break. Your gut does need rest. So, what are the major takeaways? And I hope this helps you helps you in your determination for fasting and for your overall health. What are some major takeaways? Some of your major takeaways are mindset. You can do nothing without mindset. If you are in a condition now of less than perfect health, or in a condition where you would like to improve your health, even if you're not feeling symptoms of illness, it is a mindset issue. It is a mindset issue. If you are willing to vacate what you are doing and incorporate more of how these people were eating. And again, like I said, with other things that we will study in future programs, how the people in the blue zones are living. Then, as studies show, you can also reap the benefits of health. It is a mindset issue. And again, as I counsel my clients all the time, if you don't like your harvest, if you don't like the results of your health, change your seed. Plant-based diet. Plant-based diet. A plant-based diet is foundational to all groups found in the blue zones. Plant-based diet. So the better quality and the amount of plants that you are ingesting into your system, the better for you. And lastly, take care of your gut. Take care of your gut. Give your gut a rest. Overall, practice, I would suggest, if you, of course, going to your medical doctor, your doctor of osteopathy, your nurse practitioner, your herbalist, talk with them about the benefits of intermittent fasting and your health. Now, are there contraindications to fasting? Of course there are. If you are in a medical or medical condition or nutrient deficit, nutrient deficit uh, area of your life or a season in your life, then of course intermittent fasting would not be advisable for you. But again, talk to your medical professionals, your doctor of osteopathy, nurse practitioner, medical doctor, all those who are involved with your health. You don't want to involve yourself in doing anything without first consulting them, because it is a team effort to restore your health as well as maintain your health. Now, that's all the time we have for today, guys, on this edition of Eat What? 5-2 in Blue, Intermittent Fasting and Health. I know we covered quite a bit of material today. No recipes after today's program, but of course, I have provided information in the members area. I've given you an article to read on 5-2 versus the 16-8 method. And if you would like to discuss this article with your medical professionals, this is a very good way to start. I've also given you photos so that you can see how closely proximated of your organs are to your intestine. And when you have illness in one section of the body, how quickly it can spread to other major organs. There's not a lot of room in there, so it would behoove you to eat as best as you can, follow the regime and getting plenty of exercise and rest and other things that we will study and we continue to incorporate in these programs in Eat What. Until next time, guys, I'm wishing you peace. I'm wishing you joy. Always wishing you the best of health. Incorporate some of these practices. Take this to your medical professionals. See how you can live like the inhabitants of the blue zone. We'll talk more about blue zones in future programs. But until next time, I will see you. Be blessed. Wishing you joy, wishing you peace, and wishing you health. See you next time on another edition of Eat What. Bye bye.